Connect ground air supply.
Just want to make sure they're actually hooking stuff up first. I think they might still be rearming me, maybe? Because the ground power's not on. Yeah, there's no lights, the ground power's not hooked up. Should be fully rearmed by now. We will try again. Ground power on.
Chief, turn on the ground power. Copy.
Ground air on.
Chief, connect ground air supply. Ground power.
There we go.
On. Copy. Ground air supply is now connected.
Copy. ICS comm check. Can you hear me? Roger.
Okay, looks like all the lights are on, although it's a bit hard to tell because it's quite bright out and the sun is shining directly onto the instrument panel, almost. Okay, we should
I think you haven't armed your ejection seat.
Fire lights? Thanks, Chester.
I'm closing the canopy.
He runs through his checklist a hell of a lot quicker than I run through mine. It's hard to see because of the sun glare. There we go, yep.
Okay, ready to start.
Flight instruments and stall warning. Alpha computer's working. Engine instruments are working. Looks good. Okay, so now that's on. I will get some lighting in the cockpit and just get the formation lights on. Trying to remember the startup procedure. I was actually planning on streaming yesterday, I just didn't get around to it, unfortunately. And I know I'm late tonight, sorry about that. A few things got in the way, my own laziness included. Okay, so that's TACAN is over to Justice Control. I'll just make sure it's in transmit receive before I forget. I'm not going to bother with the TACAN bit. I'm probably not going to use it anyway. Radio set up now before I forget. 251. That should be our ATC, hopefully. Crank the volume up on that bad boy. Okay, so now I could run the hydraulic systems checks and everything, but I'm not going to. Bad practice, I know, but I do want to kind of get off the ground sooner rather than later. So, engine crank to right engine. Let it spool up and then throttle to idle. While that's running up, I'm going to go ahead and set the radar altimeter to 250 feet warning level. And erect the backup ADI. I'm just center that. I like to have it centered so the wings are pretty much in between the border of the sky and the ground markers. Just a force of habit. It's probably not what you're actually supposed to do, but you know. Okay, the weapons panel looks good. Don't really need to change anything there for now. Reference altitude for Sukumi looks about right, so I'm not going to worry about that. Quickly do a quick bit test on the radar altimeter. That works. And now it's probably not going to shut up, so I'm going to turn it off and back on again. Okay, there we go. Left engine's run up fine, so I'm going to go ahead, oh sorry, correction, right engine, so I'm going to go ahead and start the left. While I'm over here, I'm going to turn the stab orgs on, all three of them. I've got to start remembering if I get into a dogfight to turn the roll org off, which I think is the middle. Yeah, it's the middle. So if you're in a dogfight, you want to turn the middle stab org off. Okay, while that engine's spooling up, I'm gonna get my screens running. I do like how it takes them a few seconds to warm up. That's a pretty sweet little detail. And I'm gonna switch the mode on the HSD so I can see whatever Jester is doing in the back. And once we're airborne, that'll give me a repeater of his, whatchamacallit, the big circular situation display. Not the DDD, the other one. TID, I think it is. Yeah, TID, that's it. Alphabet soup. Okay, so our displays are in takeoff mode, which they should be. There we go, you can see him punching in the alignment now for the INS. I think that's just about everything I've got to do up front, except for changing the air source and then making sure that the wings are dealt with before we take off. But I don't want to do that just yet because the nose wheel steering appears to be kind of tied in with the wing sweep system, and as well as that, I don't want someone to spawn in next to me and take one of my wings off. So I'm going to leave the wings as they are for now. Gun silent again. Let me just check something. I think my radio may have unbound itself again. No. Okay, that should be the ARC 159 I'm trying to transmit on. It is set to both. Double check SRS, that might not have integrated properly. Ah, yeah, it's not on the right server. That would do it. That would do it. I thought I told it to connect. Okay. Circus 1-4 radio check. One thing I'm not a fan of is the fact that you need to use the in-game radio transmit binding to actually use SRS, because it does bring up that text menu up in the top right every time. And it's a bit distracting, and it stops you from clicking on stuff while it's open. So you either have to double key to make it go away, or just deal with it. I mean, I guess it's fine in single player, but in multiplayer, when you're using SRS and you're talking a lot, it's really not a great feature. I'm hoping as Heat Blur flesh this out more, they add an option, perhaps under the special options menu, which allows you to change that. Now, it's entirely possible there's no one on SRS, or if they are, they're on the wrong channel. That's usually what happens on the server. So I'm going to assume my radio is working. I'm just going to have to be a bit vigilant checking the F10 map when I'm near runways. What am I doing? It's that I want on, and it's that I want off. Okay, here we go. So we got one taxiing for takeoff right now, but after that we should be ready to go. It's just the INS alignment to wait for. Which reminds me, I need to tell Jester I want a final alignment before I forget, which has happened numerous times already. Now, I actually probably would have time to run through the full battery of tests you're supposed to do on the Tomcat before you fly it out, while Jester punches in the fine alignment, but I'd rather just sit here and admire the plane, to be quite honest with you. If something fails in the air, then I guess you can yell at me then. Obviously, when you're flying a real aircraft, you want to be damn thorough with your pre-flight checks. You don't skip things. But because it is DCS and because no one's life is actually at risk here, why not? It's one of those things where if you develop a bad habit of that from a sim, you're kind of in bigger trouble, I think. So it looks like the alignment is almost done. It's about 2/3 of the way, or yeah, 2/3-ish. And just to show off this wonderful thing Driving Wolf sent me earlier, my aircraft for today is from the Sundowners. This is, I think, the first community-made skin for the Tomcat that's actually been posted on the DCS user files site. I know there's a couple of other ones that have been finished. Burnt Nuts made a couple, but this one is actually up on the DCS user files page. You just got to find it, which is a bit difficult because there's no F-14 category yet. But she looks absolutely fantastic, and hopefully we'll see many more of these community-made skins soon. I know that as soon as I get my hands on the paint kit, I'm going to make myself my own personal F-14. So I'm starting to plan out things I want on that already. Although there's a couple of details I'm not 100% certain on yet, so I'll work it out as I go. Still got to work on my Spitfire skins as well. I've got my Mark 8 texture from IL-2 1946 mostly done. So it's basically an up-to-date reproduction of a texture I made at least 10 years ago for IL-2. I want to do a couple for the actual Mark 9 as well. Obviously the Mark 9 we have in DCS is an early Mark 9 converted from a Mark 5 airframe, so it still has the original rounded tail. So it's quite different from a Mark 8, but it still looks pretty good in the same colours. Jester should be done back there pretty soon. Oh, yep, looks like we're good to go. He's still punching something in, actually. So I'll just give him a moment longer. Sakumi traffic, Circus 14.
Ready to taxi.
Runway 12 for a southeast departure, Sakumi. Good timing. So, parking brake off. Oh, my rudder is flipping out. There we go. My rudder pedals are a bit finicky. I need to find out why. I think the sensor in them might be kind of broken. They're very oversensitive and very jumpy, which is not great, but it's better than not having rudder pedals, but at the moment they're kind of difficult to work with. So I want to make sure the nose wheel steering's engaged. Put on a little power to get myself rolling. Oh, and guess who forgot to disconnect themselves again? Every goddamn time.
Chief, turn off the ground power. Chief, disconnect ground air supply.
I just wanted to take them with me. You know, they don't get to see things from the air very often. I thought I'd take the ground crew in their little starter cart with me. Give them a perspective of the Earth that they don't often get. Alright, now we should be good to taxi. Vanel, hello. It's kind of late in the evening here. I started a bit later than I normally would. It's 20 past 10 in the evening. Oh, taxiing like a drunk again. Takes a fair bit of juice to get the Tomcat rolling on the ground. She is a very heavy aircraft, so it makes sense. But once she does start rolling, she picks up speed pretty quick. She might be a heavy aircraft, but you've also got two quite powerful engines in the F-14B. So I'm going to hold up here just while I sort my wings out. Well, that was weird. It just jumped straight to the front, but okay, we'll take it. Make sure they swing out okay. Let's quickly check the flaps while I'm at it. Okay, flaps look good. Check F10. Yeah, that looks good as well. Scuffed Traffic Circus 1 for entering, lining up, runway 12 for southeast departure, Scuffed.
Danny, boy, the pipes.
Okay, just do a quick last minute check of everything. Straighten out the nose a little if I can. I seem to always overcompensate with the nose wheel steering in this. It is quite sensitive. I probably don't need to use quite so much rudder. Ah, that'll do.
There is a friendly 105, 4 miles. Angels, and a friendly Bra 095, 33 miles. Angels 27, traffic. Eagle, 12 o'clock, 5 miles.
From MiG-21 to F-14, yep. Absolutely. They're quite different aircraft, but there are more similarities than a lot of people might expect. For one thing, you have to trim this thing constantly, just like the MiG-21. So she does require constant attention. 327 for 123 miles. Scuffed Traffic Circus 14, clear all runways departing into the east. Scuffed.
Friendly 4-ship, Bra 315, 26 miles. Angels 19. And a friendly Bra 340, 32 miles. Angels 19.
I think channel 14 is AWACS on this server. Yeah, having a human Rio is really awesome. And some of the little details in the aircraft, like the fact that the crew lean around as well as just turning their heads, is great. I had my Rio trying to troubleshoot things in the front cockpit on our first flight together, and he was actually looking around the seat past my shoulder, so I'd sit like this, so he could see past me, which is just really something else. Jester is pretty useful, but it's just so great to have a friend sitting in the back that you can talk to through the flight and who, you know, can communicate what you need to know when you need to know it a lot more effectively. See if I can get a
We've got a friendly, raw, 335, 68 miles, Angels 21, and a friendly two-ship, Bra, 215, 10 miles.
Yeah, I agree on the pilot thing. I believe Heat Blur will be adding a pilot body. They're just focusing on getting other features out first. So when that comes out, it'll be nice. I understand why people don't consider it as important. You know, sometimes it can get in the way and you can't move your limbs like you would in real life, but it's nice to have just for the immersion. And as you can see, I'm having fun trying to trim the aircraft out here. So something that came up earlier in the Tomcat Alley Discord, somebody was asking how you trim. And he was saying that he was trying to use the VSI and he couldn't get the aircraft level. You don't trim using the VSI, which is actually a trap I fell into because I haven't flown in real life for that long. Things started leaving my brain. There's a delay in the VSI. If you're going to trim using instruments, you use the altimeter. But where possible, you trim using visual references. Oh, hello. Pucker time? What's going on? What are you freaking out about, Jester?
We've got a friendly two-ship, Bra, 320, 86 miles, Angels 20.
Focus, Bra, 293, 4230 at 26,000, flanking.
293. 230. I might go after them. The original targets I was going after are going to be swarming with friendlies, so I'm not going to get a shot in, I don't think. So 293 it is, and I just realised I'm still on the takeoff HUD, so we'll switch to cruise.
There's a friendly, 12 o'clock, 3 miles.
Have to watch out for him. I don't want to have any mid-airs. I think that's him up there, that con. Oh, hang on, I'm getting a 20... Oh. Hello. We got a friendly flanker or fulcrum over here? I suspect we do not. Am I at the moment? We don't, apparently. And yet I have a 29 nails. It's a bit concerning. I think I'll just head for the targets I was going to head for, but I'll keep an eye on that. Su-27s and 33s out to sea, which is what I was going for. I'm not really sure this is such a great idea now. I do outrange them, but if they get in close, I'm in deep trouble. Deep, deep trouble. With that said, there'll probably be some friendlies out there as well, so I shouldn't be alone. One thing I've got to say is Heat Blur have done really well with this release. I'm glad they did hold it back to make sure it was in, you know, just right condition to get it out. I've noticed a couple minor bugs, mostly relating to 6 degrees of freedom movement. You can look through the top of the canopy just over the mirror, and if you turn behind yourself and lean out. Oh, I can feel the wind in my hair. But that's nothing really. That's a tiny, tiny issue. And there's a couple things relating to voice lines from Jester and some of the ground crew that like they won't play at certain times during multiplayer. Things like the kneeboard occasionally crashing the game, stuff like that. But all in all, the aircraft behaves the way that you would expect it to. The weapons perform the way you'd expect them to. The aircraft itself seems to be pretty much spot on. Okay, I've now got dirt off the nose as well as that 29 nails. Now, I need to learn how to read these American RWRs. I'm assuming those
Friendly
donuts
Bra,
correspond to
295,
range,
34 miles.
but I don't know what the
39.
ranges are. So that 29 could be close to me, or he could be, 50, 60 miles away. I wouldn't know. Even though I'm an F-14 and I've got fuel for days, I think I'm going to climb a little, just to get a bit better fuel economy. Still got plenty of time before I'm actually in range of these guys. And they are quite high up, so it would pay to be up there myself. Looks like I'm going to have at least one friend, which is good.
Nails on our nose, 12 o'clock. And nails, 1 o'clock.
Now it's buggy. Yeah, see, things like that, like things that are for, I guess, non-standard setups are understandable. They can't really test every particular setup in-house before the module releases. So things like that, they're going to rely on the community for bug reports. But with my kind of bog standard one monitor setup, I haven't encountered anything yet that breaks the game, except for, things like the kneeboard.
Now there's dirt at 2 o'clock.
Okay. That's interesting, because I think there's friendly airfields just nearby. So should be about over Sochi by now. Yeah, I haven't done any work in the rear seat myself, because God help me, I don't know how any of that stuff works. But I have watched a couple of people streaming missions from the backseat and streaming PvP from the backseat, and it does look awesome. I do want to kind of pick it up at some point, just because I think it'd be really awesome to sit in the backseat and let someone else do all the flying. Just admire the view. Multi-crewing aircraft, well, multi-crewing any vehicle in a multiplayer game, but especially aircraft, is just really awesome. And I'm really glad that we're getting the chance to do it in DCS. I wish more games featured this. I really do. Like, with all the hype that was coming up surrounding Star Citizen when it was first announced on Kickstarter, the thing that got me most interested wasn't anything to do with the fancy ships and the simulation of individual components and all that. It was just, I wanted to ride in a friend's great big destroyer or something, and then shit about the place, maybe play a game of cards or something in the mess, and then suddenly get scrambled out to go kill some enemy fighters. That kind of stuff I live for in games. Which actually reminds me, now I have a relatively better rig than I had before, and a working HOTAS setup. Maybe I should actually check out what kind of state Star Citizen's in again. I haven't played it for God knows how many years at this point. I've just kind of given up on it ever being finished, but hey, if I get at least a somewhat playable and fun game out of it, whatever. I didn't put very much money in, I just bought myself a Hornet. Because, while it's awesome to own the big ship yourself, the most fun is just having your own little fighter and sponging off someone else with a lot more cash than you have.
I got a spike here, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I got a spike here, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
They can't be that close, unless something's crept up on us through the mountains.
Yep, that's a spike, 8 o'clock.
The fuck?
Whoa, we got dirt at 3 o'clock.
Okay. I'm regretting some life choices right about now. No idea where that's coming from.
Sink rate's too high.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I got nails on our nose, 12 o'clock. And a spike, 1 o'clock.
Okay, whatever that was, we trashed it. Never mind, I don't know what I'm doing with any of that. So I'll just trust Chester.
Focus. Uzi, 1-1. Request bogey dope.
Anything? Nope. So what the fuck was firing on me? That is Sochi back there. I don't know
Spike,
if we
right on our nose.
if we don't own that anymore. No comms above me. See, I'm still getting used to all these American systems. I don't really know how to interpret them. I mean, I know that I've got a pair of 29 or more likely SU-27s off my nose. I just don't know how close they are or what the fuck is going on. I assume that's them that locked me up. And I think an FF is a SAM guidance radar of some sort. I don't know.
Bandit 2 ship, Bra, 310, 81 miles, 30,000.
Can you see them now?
Okay.
Yes,
Got
you can.
locked. Target, 82 miles.
Now, normally I would hold my Phoenixes for bombers, but you know what? I just want to force these guys defensive, if nothing else.
Target, 72
Helps
miles.
if I prep my
I
missiles,
got some
hey.
dirt on the nose.
Ah, it's lost lock.
Yep, that's dirt at 11 o'clock. I've got dirt, 6 o'clock.
Is this the F-14 A or B? This is the B. The A isn't finished yet. I'm not sure when the A is coming out, but it will be after the B. I'm assuming I'm being fired on from SAMs, because I know the really fast-paced beeping is a missile warning. But, I don't know. Unless it's one of those guys to my front, I really don't know.
Yeah, I can't do that.
See, Jester says he can't get them, so let's try the PAL, which I don't think is going to get them. I think they're too far away. I have no idea why my RWR is spazzing out.
Missile, 12 o'clock. Hot,
Oh,
brake left.
yep, there we go. Now we're in trouble.
I've got some dirt, 12 o'clock.
That might be an ET. And if it is, I'm in trouble.
Sink rate's too high. You got it. Can't do that.
Shit. Okay, let's try. I have no idea what I'm doing in this thing, by the way, in case it's not obvious. I only just figured out how the pilot modes for the radar work yesterday. It's a SAM site in front of me. I don't know if it's friendly or what. Probably not. That's worrying. The fighters have disappeared off of the EWRS as well as AWACS.
Focus, Uzi, 1-1. Request bogey.
Okay, 109 for 145. Turn the Sidewinder cooling off because I think we're not going to need him just yet. I'm not sure if these guys got shot down or if they've just dropped into Mountain Shadow.
I've got some dirt at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's to be expected. I knew that was going to be there. .074 for 45.
Friendly, 110, 69 miles. Angels 15.
Okay, well, AWACS ain't talking to me. Good
There's
stuff.
a friendly 3-ship, Bra, 135, 51 miles. Angels 6.
Okay, so if these guys are at 30,000 feet, 112, I'm going to want to climb a bit. Still got plenty of fuel. One of the many luxuries of the F-14 as compared to my usual aircraft.
I got dirt at 10 o'clock.
There's a lot of SAM sites around here. I think someone else bailed me out there because all those fighters have vanished. So I'm all the way up here. So that con will be the Harrier in front of me, I think. Yeah, it's quite far north. I kind of underestimated how far north I was, actually, which is kind of easy to do in the Tomcat because it's quite fast. So I was well and truly in bad guy territory there. So if you want to trim the Tomcat for level flight, I mean, obviously you can use the pitch ladder on the HUD.
I've got dirt at 6 o'clock.
There's also a slight delay in that, though, because, you know, this is a very old-fashioned aircraft. The HUD is a very, very early HUD. The other way you can do it is you want the horizon to be about 2/3 of the way up the windscreen, looking from directly behind. 2/3 to 3/4. I'm going to put her into a slight climb here just to make sure I do clear the mountains, and I'll give you guys another look at the skin I'm using tonight. BF-111 Sundowns. And Driven sent me a link to this a couple hours before I started the stream. So I've got a couple contacts on the radar. Most of them are friendly. The round markers are friendly, a pointed marker is enemy, and a box is unknown. So Jester's keeping himself quite busy in the back there, IFFing everything off the nose.
Focus. Boozy 1-1. Request bogey dope.
Pick up a bit more altitude. So I'm a little closer to the altitude these bombers are at. See if we can get Jester to find these guys.
I can't do that.
Nope. Well, he does see them on the edge of our little TID repeater there.
We've got a bandit. 120, 90 miles.
Yeah.
Roger that.
That's what I want you to lock up.
Unable.
No, he can't do it. He can't do it. He's lost sight of them somehow. So the AUG-9 is a very powerful radar, but it's not infallible. You'll still have those frustrating moments where you've got a perfect lock on somebody and it suddenly just drops. You can get around people trying to notch you by switching between pulse Doppler and pulse modes. But even still, if people drop behind terrain or just do something the radar doesn't quite like, you will lose them. You might be able to pick them up right away again. Often you can, but it's not going to help much if you're just about to fire and they vanish. Now, I'd say there's probably friendlies already on these guys, so I do want to be careful if I launch any Phoenixes.
Okay. I have a lock.
There we go. Just double check, so they are straight off my nose. There are friendlies there. I'm not sure if they're engaging. There's one that looks like he's maybe RTB. Oh no, there's a Hornet down there that's firing off AIM-9Xs at something. So I can't guarantee we'll get some action right away. There are quite a lot of people on the server, mostly in Tomcats and Hornets, so anything that does spawn is going to get popped pretty quickly.
Target, 81 miles.
Okay, there's a bunch of friendlies between me and him. There's probably also missiles headed his way, to be honest with you. I feel like someone else is going to snap him up. 80 miles off the nose now. It's really tempting, but I don't want to risk sending a Phoenix in and then having him get shot down. So I'm going to hold the Phoenix for now, and I'm going to wait for a better target.
Target, 78 miles.
I'll just keep it locked so I can keep tabs on it. But I think the guys that are there have got it handled at this point. So, as fun as it is to do the Top Gun thing, most of your time in the Tomcat is going to be spent cruising around, looking for something to kill, and a lot of the long-distance shots that you're kind of going to think, oh, I've got Phoenixes, I can kill things from 120 miles away. You could,
We
but it's
have
not
a
a good
friendly
idea.
two-ship. Bra 130, 49 miles. Angels 4.
And this is exactly why. There's friendlies all the way between me and my target, and putting a Phoenix out there, which could potentially decide it's going to start going active in the middle of a group of those friendlies.
Friendly. Bra 175, 48 miles.
So, the Tomcat was designed as a long-range fleet defender to shoot down bombers
Friendly.
from very far away.
175, 47
It excels
miles.
in that role. It's surprisingly good as a dogfighter for an aircraft that is as huge as this. It's a good plane, you know, it can do a lot of things. It's a very versatile ground attacker as well. But when you are in the air-to-air role, most of your time will be spent
Bandit two-ship.
cruising
Bra
around,
130,
doing this.
51 miles.
locking things up, not getting a shot, and just having to pass up the target for something a little bit better. When you do get into a merge, you're going to have a hell of a time, but it's kind of like military life, honestly. It's long periods of nothing happening, punctuated by a few moments of terror, or at least frenzied activity. Whereas something like, for instance, a MiG-29, that thing, you jump up, you get straight in the fight. You can't really afford to do that in the Tomcat. Ooh, 047 for 126. Do not mind if I do. F-14 is like artillery? Yeah, pretty much. Both air-to-air and air-to-ground artillery. She can do both. Okay. So it's a friendly there off my 11 o'clock. Heading back out to sea. 047 for 116 miles, so I'm going to pop radar to 200 miles. See if we pick anything up. We probably won't yet. And I'm coming slightly off my course a little. Just in a gentle climb to give the Phoenix a little more range and to give myself a little more fuel economy.
There is a friendly guerrilla group bearing 155, 36 miles, Angels 1.
Thank you, Chester. Okay, they're not showing up on my radar yet.
Infield 2-1, request bogey dope. Infield 2-1, focus, Bra 012, 490.
89 miles. And they are at one at 36,000, one at 26,000. I'm coming up towards them, so we're going to set scan elevation high middle.
Roger.
Should give us a better chance of picking them up. And then set trying to remember how to get him to switch modes. Whatever. Good enough. Okay, 052. So I'm actually overtaking them in this turn. I'm leading them a bit too much. They're now at 75 miles. 60 miles now.
Yep.
Okay, we got a friendly hauling ass in towards them. Probably another Tomcat.
We've got a Bandit, Bra,
Aha, there we go.
050, 50 miles, 36,000. Roger. I'm spiking him.
Oh, forgot to set my gun ammo. So I'll just
Target,
quickly do that
47 miles. I lost lock.
God damn it, Jester.
Roger that.
Gotta pick him back up.
Okay. I'm spiking him. I lost lock.
Lost him again. Not having much luck.
Copy. Copy. Got lock.
There we go. Need to put myself back in the AA HUD. I was wondering if I
Target,
can see the
36
diamonds.
miles.
36 miles is a good range to drop a Phoenix. So we're going to do that. We've got a friendly going in. Circus 1-4, Fox 3 long. Not really that long, actually. Oh, for
I
fuck's
lost
sake.
lock.
Pick him back up.
Get ready. Copy. He's locked. Shit, I lost the lock.
Okay, he's
Nails,
coming
8
close.
o'clock.
8 o'clock, MiG-23. Where's he come from? MiG-21, 071. 27 miles at 17,000. What Phoenix am I using? 54A, I think. I just took one of the default loadouts. Oop, bit of a hiccup there. 078 for 22. At 9,000. See if Jester can see him.
No can do.
No, he can't. Okay, 081. 17.5 miles at 10,000. It's going to be pretty much off my nose. There we go.
We've locked a friendly.
No, that's friendly.
That's a friendly.
God damn it.
Focus. Uzi 1-1. Request bogey dope.
Well, I guess that fight's already over. Didn't take long.
Nails, 7 o'clock.
Still getting spiked from that 23. So I want to go see what that is. 306 for 162. Jeez, the RWR on this is fucking sensitive.
Okay. Copy. miles, 11 o'clock.
Excuse me while I'm tabbed out for a second. I'm just going to see if my human Rio is about. Just from the aircraft to counter some of that roll as well.
Connected. Channel switched.
Oh, actually I'm in a server I don't think he can connect to. I'm pretty sure it has a ping limit. Might switch next time I get shot down. Okay, 134